By the end of this video, you'll see how simple it is to analyze your YouTube metrics to grow as quickly as you can in 2024. And I'm going to show you these metrics that are going to be true no matter if the algorithm changes or not. Wow. We're going to have two examples. I'm going to show you an example with a long form video and a YouTube short. So let's take this video that we have here. This is the video I posted last week, and yeah, the metrics are not that great. I'm going to show you exactly why that is. So the first thing we want to notice is that there are a couple categories up here at the top. There's reach, engagement, and audience. We're going to start with reach, and we're going to find a really useful graph. So if we click on reach, we're going to ignore all of this for now. We're going to scroll down to this chart right here. So the way that YouTube works is it feeds audience members a lot of impressions. And then some of those people are going to click through it and watch those impressions. And then some of those people are going to only watch for a short amount of time, and some of those people are going to watch the entire video. And so what this little pyramid is showing is that this is how many people got impressions to watch your video. Here's how many people actually clicked through to watch your video. And then this is how long the average person ended up watching from then on. So this number up here, the impressions at the beginning of the video, this is completely out of your control. I don't want you to worry about this number. This number will go over time the better you're doing. But what is in your control is this click-through rate. So we can also see this number up here, impressions click-through rate. Don't worry about this graph, it's too complicated. But this number is really abysmal, which is why this video performed so poorly for me. So a really bad impressions click-through rate is somewhere between 0 to 3%. A mediocre one is 3 to 5%, and a really good impressions click-through rate is anything above 5%. How do we do that? What does this number really mean? So this number represents all the stuff you're doing with your packaging. This means your title and thumbnail. So if people are not clicking on this video as much, it means that your title and thumbnail need to be improved. You need to improve your packaging. So anything less than 5%, I want you to flat out assume that you need to work on your title and thumbnail. And if you have more than 5%, I don't want you to copy the title and thumbnail for your next video. I want you, and this is key, to copy the process that you did to create that title and thumbnail, because that's going to show you more success. Okay, all the rest of these numbers, views, unique viewers, all these graphs over here, ignore these for now. The only thing you really need to worry about is impressions click-through rate on reach. This is going to show you from the beginning of this funnel how many people are going to click through to your video. Moving over to the engagement tab, there's only one thing I want you to worry on here, and it's actually this graph right down here. This graph is the only thing you need to worry about on engagement. This graph shows you how long most people are watching your video. So you can see here at the beginning, this will pull up here, within 17 seconds, half of my viewers are already failing off and clicking away from this video. What this means is if you have a huge dip at the beginning, like I do here, you need to improve the hook in the beginning, the intro of your video. If you see some dips between sections, like I see a big drop off here, there's a little drop off here as well, it means I need to improve the transitions between my sections in my videos as well. And if you see these numbers going down at parts that are not your section, that means you need to improve the retention on your video and keeping things moving. The spikes are normal. This means that people are clicking on chapters in your video, so don't worry too much about that. And the last thing you'll see, and you'll see this here too, is there's a dip at the end. A lot of people get a really good sense of when your video is ending. So if you're not leaving with a really strong call to action, people are just going to click away as fast as they can. Now this will inevitably happen eventually, but you want them to be clicking onto another one of your videos. So the way that you can do this is if there is a big dip here, you can improve it with more editing at the end with your call to action. So this graph here and your impressions click-through rate, these are the only two metrics that really matter when looking at a long form video. But let me ask you 5 questions, and this will show you what you need to work on first, because it's a lot to work on. Like this video here, which did really poorly, see, had a lot of things that went wrong. We had the impressions click-through rate was really bad. We can also see the engagement graph dropped off at the hook, the intro of the video, as well as in a lot of sections, it just kept going down and down, which means that there were a lot of things going wrong. So let's start with the 5 questions that you can see to really improve your videos. With these 5 questions, the first question that you answer no to is where you need to focus on for the next video. Don't worry about anything else. 1. Does your video have a 5% or more click-through rate? 2. Do you have 50% or more retention for the first 30 seconds of your video? 3. Does your retention dip after the first section? 4. Does your retention dip after any other section? 5. Does your retention dip at the end of the video? With that in mind, hopefully you have the tools to edit your next long form video better than the current one that you're working on. Okay, let's take a look with the example from a YouTube short. So let's pull up the most successful short and I'll show you even how this one could be better. So let's take a look at the analytics here. Again, it's going to have the same tabs up here at the top. The only ones, again, we're going to care about are reach and engagement. So if you see reach here, with long form videos, that number that you really care about is click-through rate. That means how many people clicked on your video. But with shorts, people usually don't click on your video. Usually what they happen is they're scrolling and then they see your video. So what you want to do is you want to see how many people chose to view your video. That's this number right here. We call this viewed versus swiped away. So the higher percentage you have here on viewed, the better that this number is going to be and the more likely this short is to do well. So anything less than a 30% viewed versus swiped away is really poor. And anything between a 30 and 80% is all right, but more than an 80% is really the metric that we want to get. So this video, even though it did 1,500 views, it still only had a 41% viewed versus swiped away, which means I'm leaving a lot of views on the table. All right, the rest of these, ignore these again. Honestly, with search terms, these are a single person that searched for this and they were scrolling and it didn't matter. Okay, let's take a look with engagement. So it's the same thing, we're going to have a graph here, and this is going to be a retention graph. And this is going to show you how long people are watching your short for. So do you see a huge dip at the beginning again? You need to improve your hook. Do you see a dip at any other point in the video? Then maybe you need to look into the editing or scripting for that particular point. Ideally, you want this 100% over here to be as far right for as long of the video as you can. So something like this where like it is almost half of the video is great, which means almost half of the people that are watching this video a second time, which is really good in the YouTube Shorts algorithm. A line that goes straight down like this means that you created a really good video and you're doing really good with the editing and keeping people engaged throughout. All right, so now that we did those with YouTube Shorts, I'm going to ask you very similar 5 questions to find out how you can improve your YouTube Shorts. 1, does your video have an 80+% viewed versus swiped away? 2, do you have 100+% retention for more than 3 seconds of your video? 3, do you have 100+% retention for more than half the video? 4, does your retention dip after a specific point? 5, does your video loop? Are you trying to get people to watch it a second time? Next week, we're going to start with that first question and really know how to create the most effective title and thumbnail or the most effective intro for your YouTube short. Like and subscribe to see that.